everybody, Peg here with my version of the Art Joy is Sharing, which is a live stream that Chelsea and I do each Thursday from this morning, which is September 6th. And we were working with air dry clay. So I'm showing you a couple of different products. This Model Magic and Creole, which are both air dry products. Creole is from Holland and it's a much stiffer clay than the Model Magic from Crayola. I'm also showing how to take a stamp and create your own molds because what you're usually looking for is a raised image when you're working with clay. I'm also showing some other pieces that you can use to uh, make texture. These are actual texture plates that are made for clay. These are silicone molds from, I think they're Martha Stewart. I also have some molds from Amico, and these are made for Sculpey, but I'll try to put some links in for you. My Etsy, not my Etsy, my Amazon store has all kinds of products listed. So if you're looking for anything to do with arts and crafts that you may have seen me working with, you can always go there and search for the products that we use. This is a Prima mold, and it makes lots of medallion shapes. And then there's another one from Amico. But I'm just showing you all kinds of things that you can use when working with these paper clays. Now, um, one of the things about the Model Magic is it is stretchy and it's almost like marshmallow. So when you're putting it in a hard mold, if you try to pull it out, it's going to stretch and get distorted. So I like to let these pieces just dry in the mold, or at least dry enough so that, when you remove it, it's not going to change its shape. But I'm showing you how you can take a knitting needle and just, you know, shape the edge, how you can trim it with a blade, how you can, if you've overfilled your mold, how you can scrape the excess clay off of the mold. Um, there are a lot of different tricks and tips for working with these air dry clays. And you can use these same molds for resin and Sculpey and all of that. You just remember that when you're using these molds, you don't want to use them for both food products and clay products. Keep those things separate because you don't want to commingle. But yeah, you can see there when you pull out that clay from the mold, it is getting misshapen. So I'm just going to let them air dry in the mold or dry enough so that when I pull them out, they don't distort. Now, some of the other things that you can use for molds is, ice cube trays, and there are molding products that you can get in the craft store. Now, this is one of the faces that I had molded a few weeks back, and I'm just showing them, because somebody had asked, well, what do you do with those? And so I'm showing them, well, this is one product or one project that I'd done. Now I'm showing how to form a hollow bead by, shaping the clay in a measuring spoon and then putting the two domed pieces together. And these are just playing cards from the dollar store. I've stacked about 5 of them together and tape them together and then have the two different sides so that when you're rolling, you have a surface that is level on all the way around as you roll. I have this acrylic roller. It's something I got from another secondhand store. It was a uh, electronics store, and I don't know where to get the acrylic rolling pin, but you can. I'm sure you can find something. But just demonstrating how to use my homemade molds and how to use a blade. This is what they use for tissue. It's a tissue blade, and how to make curves and cuts and these little cutters that, now I've got little polka dots, and I'm thinking, okay, those little polka dots would be cute on that round bead. And, you can drill your holes through because you've got a nice hollow bead now, and it's going to be lightweight because it's paper, or not paper clay, but it's um, a lightweight moldable clay, air dry. And these are leaves that I'm making with little uh, cookie cutter type things that you get from the craft store. They use them on pieces of cheese or bread, or, fancy little hors d'oeuvre type things. And that's where I find that kind of stuff. Then I'm showing you my measuring spoons that I used to mold my domed beads. Okay, so let's see, where did I go from here? So I'm just using a tool to put some veins in these little leaves that I have cut out with my cookie cutters, and punching some more of those holes or circles that I'm going to put onto that bead, because I want to, now that I've started it, I want to texturize that bead everywhere with all of these little bitty circles. And then next week, when we come back, the challenge is for you guys to, do some homework this week. Make some paper clay pieces, and then next week we're going to do some kind of assemblage using the pieces that we worked on this week. So that's an ice cube tray from the dollar store, and it's in the shape of a skull. And then I'm just dumping out, these are all air dry clay pieces that I've made and molded, and I keep them in a jar on the shelf so that when I'm ready to assemble things, I've got all of these components. You think about what you spend going out and purchasing, um, metal pieces or scrapbook embellishments and stuff. Well, using this model magic, it becomes something that's very economical, and you can use it over and over again. So just showing you how you can create your own components for assemblage. So if you'd like to see the full version of this video, you can go over to Art Joyous Sharing, which is my sister channel, and you can catch both Shell and I on that video and see what she's creating or cooking up for next week, because she started on her project already with assembling, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And I hope you guys decide to play along, because it'd be fun to see what everybody's creating with their air dry clay. So now I'm going to move on to the Creole, and I'm going to use it in that um, ice cube tray because it's a much stiffer clay. It holds up a little bit better when you're using something like a stiff mold or a deeper mold. And so I'm just dusting that hard face mold with my dusting powder, talcum powder. And then I'm going to press that Creole into the face mold, and then I'll pull that out, and you'll see how much detail you can get with this particular product. I really like it. I think it makes a really detailed molded piece. So, Shell was working with paper clay, and she was saying that it does not give as detailed finished product as the two that I was working with, the Creole and the Model Magic. And here I'm just giving a close-up of some of those medallion type pieces and showing the detail on the pieces that I had already pulled out of the mold. So remember, I will put some links in down below. I'm just using my texture sheets now to create some background pieces and demonstrating, these red rubber pieces that are not mounted and are deep etched work really well for applying texture to these air dry clays. And you can see that I have several pieces that are just, these textural pieces that become components that can be glued onto a piece of wood or, whatever, a box, whatever you're creating, they just become components for your artwork. So that's about it from me this week. Remember, we will be on at 10:30 Central Standard Time on Thursday morning next week. So, come and join us and see what we end up creating using the things that we created today. And remember that you guys make a difference. So we love hearing your comments and share with us what you'd like to see on our channel and be kind to one another. And I'll see you again next time. So thanks for stopping by. Bye for now.